Life started to change quite a lot in the 1960s and 70s because of alcohol that came into our communities. Life started to change because, again, I keep going back to my comment, it was never any good to treat Stone Age people and expect them to be civilized people as European overnight. That's the problem that we have today. We drank because from the impact of residential school. We drank, we got into trouble because of the impact of residential school. When we started to drinking as survivors of residential school, we did not know how to drink as survivors of residential school. We were never taught how to drink alcohol when I was growing up, because we just didn't have any alcohol whatsoever in our communities up through the 1950s and 60s. The only people who drank a little bit were the missionaries and the Hudson Bay Company people at that time. So today, we have a lot of problem with alcohol and drugs in our communities. Part of the problem is the people who are in that type of situation really do not know between right and wrong. That's the problem. And we have to see that as a problem in our community, and we have to live with it as a problem in our community. We can't try to find solutions to the problem, but most of the time we have to work with the people like that in order to help themselves, in order for us to help them out as well. We have to have some understanding of people like that. We have to have some understanding why these people are like that. Instead of looking at it just as a problem, we have to participate in helping to find solutions to the people with alcohol syndrome. It is a problem in different parts of our communities, and it is something that we have to recognize as a problem. And it is something that we have to find solutions together. Healing is a very, very important word within our society today as Inuit. Saim maksarnak, mamisaknak is an extremely important word within every Inuit community, whether you live in Nunavut, Nunavik, Nunavut, or in Inuit in the Northwest Territories, because as survivors of residential school, that is what we're doing, healing as Inuit community. Now, with the problem of alcohol, we got into drinking as Inuit without knowing the impact, without knowing the consequences of alcohol, because we just never drank as traditional people. We never had any drugs. We never had any alcohol as traditional people, not since time immemorial, not since thousands and thousands of years ago. All we knew was seal meat, caribou meat, Arctic char, and the breath of the animals that we caught, that we boiled meat, and all we knew was breath. We didn't even have tea, or we didn't even have coffee during the traditional times of the Inuit. Now, that we have alcohol and drugs in our communities. The problem today, as I know, with alcohol and drugs is happening with the intergenerational people of our community. Our sons are in prisons. Some of our daughters are in prisons. That has a lot to do with the fact that we, as survivors of residential school, people have to understand this. As survivors of residential school, we lost parenting skill. That's part of the problem that we are facing today. And during the testimonies of intergenerational, the young people, at Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings in our communities. And remember, I was chairing those hearings of Truth and Reconciliation Commission in Kuutjoap, Inuit, Igloolik, Rankin Inlet, Chesterfield Inlet, Koglokto, Iqaluit. So I was chairing all those testimonies of people. One of the things that touched me deeply when I was when we were having hearings in those communities, where the younger person, the intergenerational, was talking about his parents. He said, whenever I would come home, I find my parents drunk. Every night they would be drinking when I was growing up in the community. That's the young man talking about his parents who are survivors of residential school. He said, I thought that was a way of life, so I started drinking myself. So as a survivor of residential school, we drank of what happened, because to try and forget of what happened at the residential school. As part of my own healing, by the way, I've been sober for 24 years this year, in 2018. As part of my own healing. And it's a really, really good thing to do, and it's something that I encourage other people to do the same.